Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon, the pickup guy.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are thrilled to death that you are listening to our show today, tonight, this morning, whatever it may be. It has been a lovely
Day.
That'll work.
Insert word here.
Yeah. We've got a very special guest on. Guest is, who are you, guest?
This is Patrick from Radio Mule.
Patrick from Radio Mule. That's right. And you are out of Tacoma, Washington, correct?
That is correct.
That's my dad's hometown.
Huh.
Oh, really?
Yes, I still have some relatives there. It's beautiful there. So we've got a great show ahead for you. And Patrick has some fantastic pedals and I think some news that we're probably sharing. Is that correct, Patrick?
Yeah. I've got,
Well, don't tell it
got-
yet.
Oh,
Then
no.
they're
All right,
not
all
going to
right,
listen to the
right.
rest of the show.
I've got some news. I don't know. That's all I was going to say. I've got some news.
Perfect.
That's called a teaser.
Yes. Tony,
Yeah.
if
Before we get
anybody is
started.
brand new to the show,
Yeah.
tell them what this is about.
We like, on the Guitar Knobs, to talk about gear, specifically boutique gear. We like to talk about pedals and amps and guitars and accessories and all the good stuff. Occasionally we have what Jared loves, the 101s, where we
101.
learn stuff.
We learn things about stuff.
So, yeah, listen in. We talk to people from all over the world.
It is true. And for right now, we're going to talk amongst ourselves real quick. We got a couple of announcements that I want to get to. We've had a fantastic influx of listeners sharing their thoughts and stuff. And I thought I would. I got another great one, and this is specifically about some things that we've been doing.
Oh,
And this is from Trevor Newman. And he says, "Hi, Guitar Knobs. Just wanted to say how I am enjoying the recent episodes. I think there has been a step change in the presentation. Being from the UK, as I'm sure you are aware, sometimes we are not on the same page from a humor perspective. But there have been some real funny moments that have made me laugh, which hasn't really happened before. Well, that kind of makes me a little bit sad, I suppose.
I don't think the Brits laugh, though. They just chuckle.
Yes, they smile graciously.
Pshaw.
Yeah. It's hard to eat the crunchy toast if you're laughing out loud.
Speaking of toast,
Yeah.
of London.
Yes, well, let's get into it. The addition of Rob has mixed things up a bit. He is so super serious about himself and his amp stuff. But it gives you guys more time to muck around. To me, as someone who has little interest in boutique pedals, they are a sideshow to the performance put on by you guys. All right.
Nice. I like that guy.
I think we're more of the
Yeah,
sideshow.
Yeah.
Freak show,
I
maybe.
think so. I have been a small-time guitar dealer trader for 45 years, and
Wow.
at the end of my collecting
Oh.
days, unlike Tony, but I still like guitars and still trade them. He says, I don't listen to every episode. Well, maybe you'd be laughing more
That's
if
right.
you were.
That's right.
So I was surprised to hear you mention Clem Fandango. Is this a Toast of London reference?
Yes, it is.
Good to hear Echo and the Bunnymen mentioned, too. Went to see them a couple years ago. Also caught Electrofixation when they were going. Anyways, keep up the good work of entertaining me. Yours, Trevor Newman. Also, that's a very British name.
That's
Yes.
one of the coolest fan letters I have ever heard in my life.
I think his
Thanks
middle name's
for-
probably Nigel. Trevor Nigel Newman. I bet.
Could be.
Yeah.
Or Charles.
Well, Trevor, thank you so much for sending that in. Hopefully you listen to this episode so you can hear us reading your thing.
He
You should
will
listen
listen.
to more of them.
Yeah, listen to them all.
Why
Yeah.
not?
Except the early ones.
Your
They're
name's
free,
on the
for
thing.
Pete's sakes. Anyway, so that was
that's
was
cool.
just kind of a nice little
That's a nice-
share out.
Yep.
But we need to find out what's going on in our music world this week. And we're going to start off with Anthony here.
Yes.
And then we're going to check in with our pal Patrick Baldwin of Radio Mule.
All
Okay?
right. You want me to start now?
Do it, man.
Okay. So this week, very, very exciting things.
Woo!
I was delivered by Mr. John Esterly from
Whoa, that's really weird because he's young. How did that happen? And then when did he become anyways.
Delivery doc?
He is not a pediatrician or an obstetrician.
Well, they don't do that either unless under duress.
Did he have to go way back in time?
Yes.
Anyhow, boy, you guys it's a tough crowd here.
Come on, that's quick on the toes, man.
All right. So anyhow, John dropped off what we are calling the Scooby-Dooby Drive.
Uh-huh.
It is a drive pedal built into a Mystery Machine video game console. These things
It's really weird.
It's like a little box that
Put
you
a
used
little
to
cartridge in.
Yeah, well, no, the cartridge was already in there. There used to be a cord and stuff.
No, I'm saying you put a little. You
could.
Yes, if I was using correct English.
Yes. But this thing used to plug into a TV set, and you'd play the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine video game.
You put a cartridge in and plug it in the telly.
It will not work. All the guts have been gotten out of.
Right, okay.
In their place, new guts have been placed in. And this is a really neat drive pedal that John put. There's a little circuit board in here that he designed and had printed, and then he used some very cool diodes that I'm told were similar to what were in some of the so-called Klon pedals.
Interesting.
So-called. But anyhow, it's very cool. I love the way that it looks. We had a guest, I forget who the guest was, that actually did a similar type of thing with the same type of controller. But with John, I'm also working on, so the next one is going to be the Darth Phaser.
Oh.
And it's a Darth Vader control thing.
Mm-hmm.
And has a big old Darth on it. And it's going to have a phaser circuit put into it.
Wow.
So we've got about 4 or 5 of these various little things. And, in John's spare time, when he's not cranking out some really cool pedals, he's putting these together for me.
That is super, super cool. Are you going to post a picture on that?
I think John already did post a picture of it.
Well, you should too. Then you get double the fun, dum-dum.
Is that how that whole social media thing works?
Yes.
Wow, I never figured that would be like that.
Yeah. Does it sound janky?
No, it sounds great. I'm telling you. Or is that a reference to Scooby-Doo?
Yes. That's
Rory George.
Stelma's.
No, that's the Jetsons.
Stelma's thing.
Rory Raggy.
Yeah, very raggy. That's really neat. I'm looking at it. It looks cool.
Yeah. You can take it home and try it out if you'd like. It's actually, the one thing that I was concerned about going into a plastic enclosure.
Stepping on it.
Well, stepping on it, 1, but 2, the noise level. And this is a very quiet circuit. I was shocked that, I fully expected, not being in a metal enclosure, that it was going to be noisy, and it's not. So, good job, John Esterly.
If it was super noisy or didn't work, you know what would happen?
I would just keep it
go,
anyhow.
Oh. Okay, Patrick, take it away.
Yeah.
Like literally, get us out of this.
My musical world has been kind of slow the last few weeks. It's just been, I guess working on my news that I'm not sure if we want to share yet or not.
Not yet. Not yet.
But basically just building a bunch of news, and other than that,
you were working on the release content, correct?
Yeah, lots of video that I'm going to be working on. I've been working on for about a week, and I've got another week's worth of shooting because I'm slow and very bad at it.
Wow.
Should be pretty cool. Yeah, and other than that...
Use an 8mm or something? You've got to get what's going on.
Got to get it developed. Kodak is running behind.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, no, I'm not that cool. No, and other than that, just jamming. Started a new band pretty much this year, so I've been writing a bunch of songs. And
nice stuff. What kind of music?
Yeah. It's kind of... Man, like basically it's all of our 90s influences, kind of, punk and grunge and
Jesus Jones,
stoner rock, and just like
Kaja Goo Goo.
I haven't heard that name since the 90s.
yeah.
just like the most fun we can have playing guitar and drums and bass and
Nice.
Yeah.
3-piece band, 4-piece band.
3-piece band.
Nice. Nice. More money at the end of the gig.
Yeah, right.
Split that $40 three ways.
You just don't tell the bass player. That's all.
No, or the drummer. Don't tell the
Bass
drummer.
player's like, man, someday we're gonna get paid for this stuff. That's what my bass player says. Oh boy, that's really cool, man. Very, very fun. What's your band's name?
We don't have a name yet, but we're playing with the name Yelm the Band, or revisiting a joke name that me and the drummer have used for various silly projects throughout the years called The Touching. So it might be either of those.
Yeah.
It might be none of those.
Can I throw in a recommendation?
Sure.
Young the Elder. I'm just saying. That's fun. Like, I think that would be. I would go see a band called Young the Elder.
I like that.
Yeah, Tony, you could have that.
Okay, thank
Could
you.
be like out of Youngstown or something. Anyways,
Yeah, it could be. Jared, what about you, dude?
Oh, man. So every time like I get on social media, that positive grid spark just pops up. And I'm like, I yell at it because I'm like, I already bought you. I already have
you
one.
can turn that off, right?
So anyway, the white one.
That's a no.
Yeah.
That's a solid
The
no.
pearl one kept coming up, and I'm like, okay, you got me. So I ordered the pearl. The pearl color.
He can't help himself, can
No.
So I think maybe after I got that, maybe it'll go away now.
he? No, because they'll
Right?
come out with another limited edition that's...
If it'll bother me until I get
But
it.
you got them in 2 different places now, which is cool.
Yeah,
The bathroom
so
and the kitchen.
I'll have the white one. Yeah, I'll have one in the back room where the office is, and then I'll have one in the front room. Actually, I'll probably just take one to Ohio. But they're super handy. I mean, we talk about them every dang episode. But they do serve as a Bluetooth speaker, as well as all the, the app just blows it up into an awesome practice amp. It's a great machine. So I did that, and I've also been thinking about bringing back a half stack just for the fun of it, because I've been playing out of the 2 or 3 amps, positive grid, of course, to do all the cool features. But
By the way, none of this talk is sponsored. Just so everybody knows that. Like, what Jared's talking about,
I am not sponsoring this.
Yeah. Aside from the contest,
genuine.
That was it.
Very genuine. The contest is over. So, no, I've been thinking about bringing back my 73 JMP.
You should bring it back to my house.
Probably not. And
Probably not.
and a Knox attenuator.
Yeah, well, you should have the aux, yeah. Especially with that JMP.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I have room in my house. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, buddy.
Yeah. Patrick, do you use an aux?
I do, yeah. Me and my wife both work at home, so it took about a week before she was like, yeah, you need to figure out a way to do that more quietly. Make noise more quietly. So I was like, cool, I'll go spend a whole bunch of money.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
the only
show
way
you.
to do that is
Right.
No, but it's pretty great. Though you guys have been selling that Spark amp pretty hard.
I mean,
and it sounds pretty rad.
it's awesome, and you can give like if you just say like the positive grid Spark amp like 5 times near your phone, you will get like a coupon that's like $50 off. And if you use guitar knobs, all uppercase, and the number 10, you'll save $10 on your order. as well.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that on the Pearl pre-order.
No, it doesn't work on the
that
Pearl.
one.
No.
Just the standard. Yeah. So, yeah, take advantage of it, man. And if you don't like it, send it back. But I guarantee you're going to like it.
I think so.
Yeah, I love mine. You guys will love them, trust me. It's the ultimate. Tool.
Well,
how about you, Todd?
Let me tell you, I had a very exciting guitar week because I got my birthday present from April.
April's her name?
Yeah. In the past. Anyways, good one, Tony. Got me.
I stumped him. I stumped Todd.
I mean, to be fair, I thought you were referring to a person named April. So
there you go.
Well, and there is one in my past, so it did kind of like scramble my brain there for a second. So, anyways, I got my super duper awesome custom made guitar that I designed.
Vincenzo.
It's called Vinny. You probably, hopefully, if you are following us on Instagram, you've seen it. So I'm not going to necessarily blather on about that, but it was very exciting to take it out. The first time I really got to plug it into an amp, my own rig was at my show. So it was like,
I didn't realize you hadn't. You actually took it and ran with it.
We got it, fixed up. We went back and just got it dialed in because I ran home. I was all excited and I said, "Hey, Chase, got to dial in a few things." One of the things was I had to switch the position of the strap button because it was like. It was on the back side of the upper horn. It was like kind of digging into my chest because I got strap locks. Yeah. So we lowered it, and it was gravy after that. It was so nice. And but muscle memory, I will say I messed up a few more times than I would normally, which is never. Just because my hand was like, hey, what's all this about? So, but it sounded great.
It's a good-looking guitar, I'll tell you that. I
was just so thrilled to be able to play that.
Yeah, I saw it earlier, but I'm looking at it right now. It's pretty rad.
Thank you. And so what I did mention on that post is I am going to post like all the specs on it because I keep getting some questions about it, and I'm just going to take a couple more good pictures of it, and then Chase is going to give me all the good dirty. Rundown stuff on it, and I'll share that in the post.
Is he allowed to build more of those?
That's a very good question, and I don't think he will because he and I wanted my design, and he wanted to make it a little more his, and I said no, please. So I wanted what I wanted.
Yeah.
And anyway, but that's I don't know. That's not my choice. That's his choice. He is the builder and the owner. And so that's Chase Gullett of Gullett Guitar Co. If you are interested in seeing more of his work, I mean, he makes some absolutely stunning guitars.
Beautiful stuff.
So, so there's that, and that was my feely goody awesomeness of the week.
Cool.
So ta-da!
So you screwed up the gig with a new guitar.
I kind of did a little bit. And I had a new drive section. So I just said, oh, what the hell? Let's just change the whole thing up. But it worked out great.
Cool.
It was great.
That's all that matters.
All right.
Hey, I'm always changing pedals to get the best sound.
That's a good idea.
Right. So I'm wondering, what are the best cables to use to hook everything up neatly and organizingly?
I think you already know the answer, don't you?
I know the answer because I already have the cables.
What kind do you have?
Wait, so this was a setup?
It was his own setup. He's setting up his own setup.
He's freestyling over there.
Yeah. What do you have, Jared?
I have Tour Gear Design cables. They are hands down the best cables I've ever used on pedals.
Yeah.
Are they reliable?
They are extremely reliable.
Are they affordable?
They are very affordable.
Are they flat?
Yes, they are, like a crepe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That sounds delicious to you. Why don't you head on over to tourgeardesigns.com/discount/the guitar knobs. You're going to save 10% on your Tour Gear patch cables. Legit. These things are fantastic. They're on all of our boards and many of the people that we interview.
Yes.
And if you forget that link for whatever, just go to Tour Gear Designs and try it. I think you can probably enter in guitar knobs in the discount code. And if you still have a problem, contact them. They'll hook you up, okay? tourgeardesigns.com/discount/the guitar knobs. Save 10% on some fantastic equipment. Jared?
Let me get a little bit of this.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor.
All right, Patrick Baldwin from Radio Mule. What is your 4 on the floor?
All right, so I feel like I am going to have one of the more boring four on the floors that I've heard from various people on your show, but
Sounds good.
here goes. First off, it's kind of the whole thing will probably show how 90s my influences are. First off, I have to have a Big Muff on my board. I don't think I've had a pedal board for more than a couple weeks that didn't have one. And I have a few to choose from, but I generally prefer a Russian 80s style. So I've got the Noise Kick Effects Reagan Fuzz, which is a Civil War Big Muff clone. It sounds pretty rad.
Who makes it again?
Noise Kick Effects.
Noise Kick Effects. That's a new one I'm not familiar with.
I feel like they're out of like North Carolina, maybe.
Cool.
But they're super rad. They do a lot of all their pedals are like point to point on Veroboard.
Ooh.
And yeah, they're really cool. Good prices, and it's a really great little Big Muff. Yeah, sounds good. Works for everything I do. The next one is gonna be the Dunlop 95Q wah, which is a wah pedal, or a pedal that all wah lovers hate and everybody else hates too, because it's a wah pedal. It is not a great wah pedal, but it has a few features that I like a lot. It has a clean boost built into it. It has variable Q, so you can really kind of tune in how much or how aggressive the filter sound is. And it has instant switching, which is my favorite, since I don't really use wah pedals like, I don't really do like the Jimi Hendrix or kind of funk sort of thing with wahs. I tend to use them to create as much abrasive noise as I can. Mm-hmm. So I often just use it to when I'll like have the Big Muff on and then just step on the fuzz or on the wah for like a half a second or something, just to make it go a little bit crazy and filtery and noisy.
Cool.
And then step off, so I can kind of keep switching back and forth with that. So the instant switching is kind of a must-have for me, and I think most people who like wah pedals aren't interested in that at all.
Yeah, and who's the maker of that one again?
That's Dunlop. It's just a generic wah pedal otherwise.
Oh. Well, all right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you on the wah pedal thing. Like I like being able to punch in the, as you mentioned, like the Q sound, but I definitely don't like ride it like, Hammett or somebody.
Right, yeah. I know it's maybe a little bit more cliche now than it was 20 years ago when I started playing with wah pedals, but like I really kind of use it more as like a filter, right? Mm-hmm. To just kind of really punch some sound through in places. So It's a lot of fun. I like it. I actually, when I was trying to put this all together, I was just thinking of every or of the pedals I would need to play anything I've played in any of my bands over my very boring music career, and I was like, okay, I probably need to get the wah out again, because I really like using it all over the place. So
nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
Do you use the wah? I'm assuming you use it in front of everything.
It's after I use it after the any fuzz I have. I like to do fuzz, and then I like to have the wah in there to just because it's just nasty.
Yeah.
Like, it helps also just keep away from kind of that standard wah sound.
That's a good way to mix it up.
Yeah. So number 3 on my board, and I actually did build this board and jammed with it a couple weeks ago, and it was really fun. But number 3 on my board is a old pedal that I actually stole from my dad quite a long time ago. It's a Guillotone PS102 Zoom box distortion. It's a 1970s distortion plus clone with more headroom and bottom end, and it works great as a mild clean boost or overdrive, and it's kind of chimey and fun, and yeah, just really kind of a weird little distortion pedal that I don't think I've ever seen on anybody else's board. I think maybe the Edge from U2 used one a long time ago, but it's kind of unique, and yeah, I like it a lot. So.
Very cool. That's the Zoom box, right? Or the
yeah.
You know what's interesting? I just kind of like looked at that so I could get a visual, and you know what showed up was, and it's on reverb actually right now. You might want to grab it. It's it's a 70s. It's called a PS 104 crossover auto wah, and it's a single punch in, and it's a vintage Japanese pedal. That's basically what you just described.
Yeah, no, they've got a few cool ones too.
Yeah,
but
it's 159. I'm just saying.
I actually do troll Reverb every once in a while, looking for everything from that line, just because I someday have ideas of buying all of them.
Yeah, but I've been on kind of a trip of that myself, to be perfectly honest. I have been just looking at like weird old Japanese pedals and stuff. I think after I bought that the Maxon Phaser, I was like, or flanger, I was like, well, that was kind of fun. What is it?
What else did they make?
I mean, I know they got all the stuff. I would actually really like to get the pink delay. I think that would be really cool at some point. Yeah. But anyhow, how about number 4?
And then number 4 for me is going to be the Dan Electro Dan Echo, which is a cheap digital delay that you can probably pick up at any Guitar Center you ever walk into for like $30. But I've been through a lot of delay pedals, and I usually end up selling them, and for some reason I have 2 of these now, and they just kind of have the perfect place in the mix for the way I play guitar. They sound just right. They don't get in the way. They aren't too subtle. And then I've modified them for self-oscillation and a higher impedance input buffer, so they don't tone suck like you might expect with the stock ones. But it's again kind of a boring, weird pedal, but I love it, and it works perfectly for everything I do. So
that's been on a couple times actually on the Four on the Floor. It has, yeah.
Nice. That and the other one that was the Tape Echo, the Dan Electro Tape Echo simulator.
Oh yeah, the Real Echo or whatever.
Yeah, Real Echo. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they made some cool stuff, and I think that I've dug through the circuit of the Dan Echo a few times, and like it's simple and straightforward, but I've looked at some boutique Echoes that were very similar, and I'm like, yeah, it works pretty well. So,
cool. How do you like the button on that? Because that's always made me nervous. Like in a gig situation, I just feel like I would fail that.
I haven't had any problems with it. Honestly, like the only thing I guess I don't like about it is that the footprint is so big and weird. It's really hard to squeeze it into a crowded board. But if you're 4 on the floor, that's not a huge deal at all. But yeah, it's actually, I kind of like it because I tend to get a little clumsy when I'm playing, so I can really just kind of put a whole foot on the whole pedal, and I'll probably hit the button. So works really well.
Nice. Well, that's pretty fun. That wasn't that boring, man. Look, we got all excited about several things. And by the way, I went to go check out the noise kick effects. Holy bazinga. Got to get them on the show.
Yeah, they've got some great stuff.
Really fantastic stuff. I'm excited about that.
Really cool artwork too.
Yes, that's kind of the exciting part, and they're all different. Wow. Yeah, this is super fun. Thanks for turning us on to that, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see here. Oh, man, by the way, since we're talking about your gear and stuff, we're going to be moseying on into the interview portion. Well, hey, we're already there, aren't we? But I wanted to find out from you, this is always fun and interesting, what is your, outside of these pedals, what is your main rig?
So my main rig, I play usually Telecasters or Jazzmasters. So I've got a couple of Jazzmasters I've been playing mostly, and then I picked up a Les Paul this year, Les Paul Studio, that I've been playing, and then through whatever pedals I decide to use. And then my main amp is a GTM 45 clone from a Tacoma builder called Rolla Sound, I think. But when I bought it from him, he was selling as Union Jack. So it's that, a little GTM 45 into a 2x12, and
cool.
Yeah.
Jared likes that sound.
I do.
I mean, who doesn't? I mean, it's a great sound. For sure.
Jazzmaster into Big Muff into Marshall is a okay sound in my book.
Yeah, that's a very Pacific Northwest sound.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, so that kind of sets us up for what you're building. So for those who have not gone and sought Radio Mule out by this stage, where can people find you?
RadioMule.com is the main website. You can also find me on Instagram at Radio Mule. I have a Twitter account that I never update and a Facebook account that I never update. Both are Radio Mule as well. And you can look for me on YouTube. I've got a bunch of videos on there of the pedals. As I build them, I like to create as many demos as I can to show off what they can do. So
awesome. Now, you sent us 2 pedals, one of which is in your current line, and Tony and I have both had the pleasure and honor of playing. Can you talk to us about these ones, and then we're going to get into how you. Actually, let's do the red pedal first. If you want to kind of tell us a bit about that, I'm sure Tony has a lot to chime in about, and then we'll wait to reveal this second thing. We'll learn a little bit more about you in between. So we're going to have a Patrick sandwich here. I think that's what we're saying. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Easy, Jared. Okay.
Yeah, so the red pedal is kind of low key. It's my baby. It's a very simple circuit that I kind of just stumbled upon when I was messing around with a breadboard, and it was weird because it was like I tend to approach any sound I'm gonna make or any pedal that I'm working on with like a sound in my head. But this was like something, like I said, I kind of stumbled upon it. I had some other thing in my head at the time and came across it. I was like, nope, this is the right sound. This is what I'm looking for.
So do you term this a fuzz pedal? Is that?
I do term, yeah. It's a fuzz pedal. It I know like most of the gain range, it's more of just like a weird noisy boost.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once it gets up pretty high, it is a really synthy, but still dynamic, fat fuzz pedal.
And you have one cool little switch on here that actually I'll be upfront with you. I'm not a big fuzz guy, but I like this pedal because I found that by changing out some of the levels, and the other is the expand control. I could get a nice, I think, controllable overdrive sound, but this little switch that it's labeled tone Why don't you explain a little bit about that, because I found that pretty effective in terms of custom tailoring some sounds.
Yeah, so the tone switch really just kind of switches between like a pretty straight full range sound when you have it up top, and then just a massive low end boost with the switch down, which just when I first kind of put this thing together, put a huge grin on my face, like just how thick that was, how fat it was. So yeah, it's, the whole thing is super simple, but it just works really well, if I say so myself anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, I two things about it. I like the way that it looks. I love the little, your badge.
Yeah, it's like it's real simple and industrial looking.
Yeah, that's kind of, I was going to say it's a very industrial look, but, and if the circuit is simple, so be it. I mean, it still sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to, you could throw a couple more transistors and resistors and things in there and not hook them to anything if they. But why bother?
I was going to say some of the fuzz face is 2 transistors and a handful of resistors and capacitors, and that's the most famous fuzz pedal there is.
Yeah,
so.
No doubt.
Dig it. Are you going to do any variations off of this? Like, do you ever explore like?
Yes, actually. One of the other things and why it's kind of my baby is because I have done a few just things for myself or that were really fun to just kind of tweak a couple values or play around with with different layouts on the circuit board itself. And it really actually lends itself to just simple modifications. So I've got a couple of ideas just in the actual form factor for this, and then I'm actually hoping maybe in the next year or two to expand it out into a bigger, more interesting, well, not more interesting, but a bigger pedal with more stuff.
Now you sent us a black one. I see it's also available in red. Is that? Are there any other colors that you plan to release?
Nope, just the black and red. I think when the blacks are all sold out, I'm gonna just stick with the red finish. So that one's gonna be a limited finish.
Any particular reason why you're gonna stick with the red?
I think it makes more sense. I initially wasn't even gonna do a red one, and then just found that there was a red powder coat that I really liked. So I was like, cool. We'll try this one. That one definitely, I don't know, it was just definitely more what I like when I look at it. I'm like, yeah, that one's pretty gorgeous. But the
you know it when you know it.
Yeah. So
are you doing all the powder coating yourself, or is that something that you have found a really good source for?
No, I'm having Disaster Area. Designs does all of my fabrication for the enclosures, so they've been a really great group to work with. They've really gone out of their way to help me figure out the kind of things I'm looking for to with enclosures and getting powder and everything figured out. So they've been awesome.
That's cool. How does Radio Mule get started? First of all, that's a great name. Where'd you get that from?
It was just kind of a lot of time spent trying to come up with something that hopefully embodied what I was trying to do, what I was trying to bring to guitar pedals, and also fitting a little bit of a joke in there. So I with Radio Mule, the mule part, I mostly was just like, I want, you mentioned the kind of industrial look. That's definitely on purpose. I wanted to go for a very mid-century industrial tooling sort of feel, that kind of reliability, and then the other option, the other side of it was that I have a lot of pedals. Most of my pedals at some point or another have doubled as AM radios. I think we all know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the little bit of a joke is that it's a Radio Mule, right? It's
Got it.
ideally it never is, but some pedals just do that. It's really strange.
It's strange, and it's unfortunate also when you go in to record with the favorite pedal that you typically use, or you're at a show and you're like clicking, and all of a sudden you get the baseball game and you're like, what?
Right, yeah.
That's my go-to pedal. Now what am I gonna do?
Even in my house, sometimes like I'll switch outlets and different pedals will now be the AM radio. I'm like, what? What?
It's a bizarre thing, man.
Yeah.
I really wish I understood why it does that, but I'm not an electronic genius. Well, that's clever. It's funny. So I grew up in Southern California, and every time I hear the word mule, the only thing I think of is there's an area called Bishop in California in the High Sierra area, and they have a festival called Mule Days, and we'd go through that as a kid, going camping and stuff, on the way to High Sierras, and somehow we always landed there around Mule Day. I don't know why. But so that always was like mule.
Perhaps
Mule
Day is every other weekend.
It's always Mule Day.
Yeah, it might be. There's not a lot going on there. So.
Break out the mule.
No offense if anybody's listening from Bishop. I do love that area. But anyways, I have digressed.
So let's go back to music.
Let's do that.
See how you got into this, and what kind of influences and things like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it all, like, I kind of have always been around electronics and music. My dad was a radar technician in the Navy, and as a teenager, he was a computer hobbyist and an electronics hobbyist. So I grew up surrounded by boxes of capacitors and resistors and transistors. And he played guitar, so plays guitar. I don't want to say he's act like he's dead or something here. But he would always play guitar when we were kids, and so we would listen pretty much nightly to his renditions of Johnny Be Good and Joy to the World. Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I think being around all that, and then kind of at about the age of 11, I started sneaking into his room and stealing his guitar.
I thought you said stinking into his room, and I'm like, I did that too.
Sneaking.
I still do that when I go visit him.
What kind of guitar was that?
It was a Washburn acoustic. It's that's the only one he's had that forever, my entire life.
Really?
So yeah, sneak that one, and he had like a book of chords, and I would just kind of sit and teach myself how to play chords. And then when I was 16 or 17, got a job working construction, and saved up enough money to buy my first electric guitar and amplifier, and then found out that he had, which it was my first. Let's see, my first guitar was a Schecter C1 Plus, and the amplifier was some crate 100-watt 2x12.
Sweet.
Horrible. It had
Great thing
a
is 90s, baby.
It had a spring reverb, and that's probably the first time I ever learned that you could make
thunder noises when you.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I was like, oh, cool. I can just make this thing do things it's not supposed to do.
Yeah.
By kicking it, and maybe that's not the best lesson to learn as a adolescent kid, but
It's kind of fun.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun. And I think that really informed the way I approached pedals and guitar playing, though. Really, it was just like, see what you can do that isn't correct and make it sound good.
Yeah, an irreverent approach.
Yeah. But from there, I think I mentioned with the PS102, my dad had that and a couple of other pedals in a box in the attic. They were all broken. So I started trying to tinker with them and fix them, and got online and started looking for schematics and information on how to fix guitar pedals or fix electronics, and stumbled across various forums that are all dedicated to building guitar effects, and kind of that's where I first got my start in like just learning anything really about electronics.
Were you a quick study at that? I mean, did that come really naturally for you?
No, I'm horrible at studying. It took me like, because I really have a hard time sometimes really focusing when I'm trying to learn something new, and it took me like, I don't know, probably 10 years to realize that like I just need to like let it sink in and come back to it in a day or a week or a month, and it will click with me. So
yeah, that kind of reminded me of Up in Smoke right there. One of my favorite parts from Up in Smoke, the Cheech and Chong movie.
Yeah,
and they're driving back the van that's covered in weed, and the guy's, how long were you in Mexico? And he's like, a week. I mean a day. I mean a weekday. This is so funny. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to Todd's brain. Anyway,
A weekday.
That's
good.
I love it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, please go on.
Yeah. But so anyway, yeah. So kind of throughout my 20s into my early 30s, spent a lot of time, playing bar gigs, and kind of geeking out on guitar gear, and spending what little money I had on used guitar pedals that were oftentimes broken, and fixing them, and occasionally flipping them to buy better guitar pedals, and occasionally keeping them because I liked them a lot, and then I also started kind of building my own like fuzz and overdrive pedals, just for my own use, and had those for a while, and figured, maybe I could do some more interesting stuff. And then maybe a couple years ago, started getting a little more serious about designing my own circuits, and really starting to learn electronics a little bit better, and then got to March of last year and was kind of in the job hunting process, and decided, right as COVID was becoming a thing, that I didn't maybe want a job right now, so decided instead to just start building pedals and dive into that head first and just go with it. And that's when I decided to start radio.
Was that pretty scary, or?
Oh yeah, it was really scary for me, because I'm like, when I'm talking with my wife, and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be a good idea or like anything. And she's like, I really just need you to decide. She's like, either
that sounds very wifeish.
I want you to
do something.
Yeah, I want you to be happy and healthy and do what you want to do. We have enough money. We're fine on that front. And so that was pretty, which was pretty rad. And decided to just dive into this, and that's been it. It's been fun and interesting, and yeah,
that's very cool. Out of curiosity, when you were talking about learning all this stuff, I really identified with that, because whenever I get really excited about something, and I start digging, I need to learn all about this. Like, I kind of have an issue with that, of just getting really immersed. And I've done this in a couple different scenarios in life, and then I'm just like, yeah, but I just want to do it. I think I know enough. I'm just going to do it. And inevitably, I just end up like hitting a wall or failing and then getting frustrated and stopping, which is why I never was able to learn music, like reading music or anything like that. I just, forget it. There's no way. Can't. My brain is just like, I'm not having it. Just go make noise, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think my learning to read music education is the slowest of all of my various things I'm trying to learn. I figured, like, I don't know, in 40 years I'll remember what the little dots on the thing are called.
I've learned like literally more Japanese in my life than I have actual music. I'm dead serious. Like,
nice.
It's kind of screwball. Anyways, my point being, when you were doing that, thank you, Tony's giving me the nod, and your point was, Todd, yes. That's why he's so good here. And Jared would usually kick me under the table, but he's not, his leg's not quite that long. My point being that when you started learning this stuff, what was maybe the biggest hurdle for you to get past? When you were talking about, learning electronics and digging into that, some people get, I understand the connection part, or I understand what the components are doing, but I'm struggling with the layout. Like, what was maybe the hardest part and the easiest part for you to understand?
So the easiest part for me to understand was just like, maybe not so much what the components were doing, but the building blocks of various sound, right? So, like, I've put together, several hundred pedal boards. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you think through all of the things that your pedals are doing, and it's in a lot of ways the same with designing a circuit. You have to think through what each little group of components is doing to your sound, right? Mm-hmm. And so for a while I got along pretty well with that, at least with fixing stuff and modifying pedals and whatnot. The biggest hurdle for me, and the thing I actually resisted for a long time, was trying to make the switch from this is what's happening to the sound to this is what's happening to the electrons. This is what's happening to the actual, like, electricity in the circuit, mm-hmm. Which is the hard part, I think, in general. And I'm certainly no expert, but that when I decided that I was going to really start digging into this, that was a thing, like, okay, I need to at least be able to, I don't know, use Ohm's law in a meaningful capacity, and figure out, actually understand, like, capacitors they don't pass DC, they pass AC. What does that actually mean? How does that work? And just building sort of even a basic grasp of that took me a long time, to even feel like it's something I should do, and then B, to really start to grasp and dig into. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I dig it. That's very cool, and it's very difficult, and it's not. That's not something that people do wrap their heads around right away. Unfortunately, there's a whole lot of content out there available for people who are trying to do that, which there's a lot of our listeners. So grateful to those who are putting that content out there. We also have something on our table here that is really impressive. And why don't you tell us about this beautiful white pedal here?
That beautiful white pedal you have there is high. It is a overdrive HIGH. Yeah, it is very high. It's an overdrive and preamp. It's brand new. I've been working on it in various forms for over a year, and really came from my general dislike for other overdrive pedals, or not dislike, but disappointment with overdrive pedals. I tend to always use overdrive pedals as a colorful clean boost and use very, very little of the drive, if any, and found that most overdrive pedals, like your Tube Screamers or Klon or whatever else, either had too much drive or too much color or too much of both. And usually not enough low end was the other one. So what I tried to accomplish with high was to basically build the overdrive pedal that I had in my head that would be very, very clean, with just mild overdrive, mild saturation and added harmonics, and super versatile building. And so high has, like I said, the drive channel or the drive control, and then it has a 2-band EQ for your low end and high end that will both cut and boost, bass and treble, which is then switchable for different frequencies. So you can really kind of tune the sound you want. And then it has an active volume control that can give you roughly 12 dB of boost on top of everything else. So it can get really loud. You can really kind of use it to emulate a lot of different overdrive pedals, or you can really craft your tone however you want. It can. I use it sometimes to make my Marshall sound more Fendery, or to just kind of create really massive low end mid boost and overdrive it really hard. And yeah, it was definitely like me searching for the overdrive pedal I wanted, finding it and refining it, and I'm super happy with it and super excited to get it out to everybody.
Can you explain a little bit about the switches that you have on the bass and the treble controls?
Yeah, so the treble control is the simplest one. It switches between 600 hertz and 1.2 kilohertz, and it's a shelving filter, which for people who may not be aware of what that means, it essentially will boost or cut anything above those frequencies. So if you set it for 600 hertz, it's going to boost or cut everything above 600 hertz. Mm-hmm. So you get a lot of control out of that. And you can, with at 1.2 kilohertz, you can really add some sparkle. At 600 hertz, you can add a bunch of cut, or, you can really cut through a mix that way. Or you can, like, if you're too trebly, too bright, you can definitely turn it down, do the same thing. The low channel, the bass EQ control has two switches. The first one is similar. It's you could switch between 150 hertz or 300 hertz as kind of your centering frequency for your bass, and it'll, it works the same way. You can turn it up or turn it down about 12 dB, and then the other switch for the bass control switches between a shelving filter or a peaking filter or a bandpass filter. So again, the shelving filter works the same way as the high end, except for low end, it will boost or cut anything below either 150 or 300 hertz. But with the bandpass filter switched on, it will only boost or cut frequencies centered around the frequency that you chose. So you can switch it to 300 and really cut out a whole bunch of low mids and turn your Les Paul into kind of a Strat and get really funky. Or you can, switch to 150 and boost your kind of lows there and kind of really add a lot of chunky girth to your power chords and whatnot. whatever else you want to do. It ends up being really versatile.
So in the one setting, it's almost acts like a parametric EQ at that point.
Yeah, it's a very kind of a basic parametric EQ. I had thought about doing some more controls to make that super, so you could just tweak it. But I wanted to do something I hope is fairly simple and really centers the controls in a musical place. So
yeah, well, when I was trying this one out, I mean, that to me, it was pretty self-explanatory. And I mean, your ears.
Well, you're a very smart person.
Well, but I mean, there was no real explanation, but other than, there's some frequencies and things like that. But by playing around with it a little bit, you can really, again, much like the fuzz, you can custom tailor different tones and things. So I think it's cool.
You can custom tailor it?
You can custom tailor it. Custom tailor. That's extra tailor.
Jared. Hi, Jared.
Yeah, I have a question for our guy, Patrick, here.
Yeah.
I gotta know, my friend, when is that pedal coming out?
That pedal is gonna be available for sale October 15th.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Middle of next month.
Is this a pre-order, or is it whatever stock you have is going to run out?
It will be whatever stock I have is going to run out. So I want to make sure anybody who orders one, it'll go in the mail that weekend, so you can have it as quickly as possible.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. What was the... forgive me. What was the main inspiration for this?
Like I said, it was mostly just trying to find the overdrive that I wanted, and I think that's pretty common of anybody who designs an overdrive or plays overdrives. Like, we all want something a little different, and so from there, I kind of really started digging into a lot of more of the studio gear and preamps and EQs and stuff that I was more familiar with, or slightly familiar with anyway, and kind of looked at a bunch of different schematics from stuff like Neve and SSL, things like that, and looked at a bunch of hi-fi sort of equipment as well, and really kind of dug into where, what kind of stuff that was happening outside of maybe guitar electronics and guitar amps to find some interesting ideas.
So I'm glad you answered it in that way, because that is, I was kind of going to what were the more, I guess, electric based inspirations beyond you wanted to do your own overdrive pedal the way that you wanted it. So I'm glad that you touched on that. Because I didn't frame that question up good enough for you. But
I think I realized that halfway through answering.
Oh, no. I see, we're on the same wavelength. I like that. Is that the pedal, the high, HIGH?
Hi, Todd.
The high, does that come from hi-fi inspiration or?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It really does.
Cheech and Chong movie.
It really does come from hi-fi stuff, and I don't know. Sometimes sometimes when you name something, you just oh yeah, that's your name, right?
Yeah.
I obviously named several bands. When I named Radio Mule, I went through a whole bunch of stuff and then came up with Radio Mule. I'm like, oh yeah, that's your name.
Yeah, you just know it.
And so I was going
Young
through
the Elder.
Young the Elder.
Yeah, Todd, that's your name. But yeah, so I was going through a bunch of different ideas, and I don't remember exactly why I wrote that one down, but I wrote it down and was like, oh yeah, that's your name. That was the name of the pedal. And yeah, I don't remember exactly why, but I do remember just having that moment where I'm like, yep, that's what I'm going to call this pedal.
That's cool.
And
That's super cool, man. It's a I mean, no, it's not beautiful. This is a damn handsome pedal. That's what this is. So you got a Gorva box, right? Is that yeah?
Yeah, it's the Gorva S90 box there.
It's it looks like a very high-end pedal. I'm not. That wasn't the play on words. Like honestly, it looks like a high-end pedal, and it certainly sounds like that too. So you've done a really fantastic job with this.
You're funny.
Thank you.
So, Patrick, anything closing with your official interview on our podcast that you would like to say that you haven't said or leave us with?
I mean, I just really stoked to be here and talking to you guys.
Well, we're not saying goodbye yet, so.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, no, I mean.
No, you're not.
I don't know. Well,
I got to say some stuff, and Tony Baloney's got to say some stuff.
Right.
Do you have anything else in the works that, I mean, obviously you've been working on High for, over a year or so, I think you said. And
yeah,
what else do you have cooking?
I don't want to get too much into what else I have cooking right now. A lot of stuff is in pretty preliminary phases, very much like on the back of a napkin sort of.
What, you don't think you can trust us?
I don't think I don't want to be like, oh, I'm working on and then
no one listens to this podcast. Come on.
I mean, when I started working on High, it was mostly just an EQ, right? So like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm working on this thing and have anybody be like, hey, when's that thing gonna be done? I'm like, oh no, see, that is never actually going to happen because it's mutated entirely. So,
but the big thing is that you have more offerings to come in the future, which is a great reason to step into a new brand. If you're not familiar with Radio Mule, you'll get one of these and you'll be like, yep, I want some more from this guy.
Yep.
That's what you say on the business. It's on the back of your business card, I'm pretty sure. But
yeah, you want more Radio Mule.
Anyway,
you never have enough.
So one more time, that date that's coming out.
It's coming out October 15th. There will be some more stuff on Instagram and YouTube in the coming weeks. Although if this is not being broadcast or posted for a while, it should be
right about that time.
Weeks. Yeah. But yeah, there'll be more information coming soon about that. But
brilliant.
I'm super stoked.
Yeah, hell of a job on this, man. Really well done on both of these things here.
Thanks.
Both of the old pedals. We are going to visit our little buddy Jared down in Nashville. He's going to take us on a trip real quick.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to play your favorite game on the Guitar Knobs podcast called Would You Rather?
Ooh, wow. That's a nice one, Jared.
Nicely
Would You Rather
done.
Is going to be a little longer and more context to the Would You Rather. So buckle in, everybody. This is from our good buddy Mark Passe, which is Mark Page. So you're walking down the street in Cleveland. You're in the Clee, baby, in Cleveland, and you stop by a local guitar show. Your spouse has limited you to $50 because she knows you have gas, which is guitar acquisition syndrome.
Or you stop at Taco Bell.
Probably. Both in my case. You see three friends there. Our hosts of the show, Todd, Tony, and Jared, which, yes, before COVID, you would typically see us at guitar shows.
Yes. Tony
and Jared both have their booths set up. There is a camera crew there for the local morning show, Oh Hi, Ohio, hosted by Victoria Chase and Todd's band, Dirty Toddler and No Vacuum Cleaners. It's going to perform a set on live TV in 1 hour.
Yeah.
1 hour.
The band's playing in an hour.
That's it. You only have an hour. Todd asked you to join the band for the set since a second guitarist hasn't shown up yet that really doesn't exist due to your car troubles. But the only guitar you can get your hands on is for $50 at the show is a beat-up first act guitar with super offensive graffiti on the pickguard and pickups that have a terrible, horrible buzz. So, would you rather go to Tony to have him replace the pickguard or go to Jared to have him replace the pickups within that hour before showtime in front of the camera? No other changes could be made to the guitar since it's such a short amount of time before you're going on camera. So what would you rather have? Easy on the eyes guitar that doesn't have nasty profanity and the worst 4-letter words in the world on it?
Or something else.
A better sounding guitar, but, you're going to have to hide that profanity.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe you don't. That's the choice, isn't it? And
that's the choice.
It may be, think of just whatever is the most offensive to you is on this pickguard. So this is a very interesting one. Thank you, Mark Paget, for sending that to us. This is very well thought out and very fun. So, Tanya, what are you doing?
Well, as much as I love pickguards,
yes,
I think in order to make you happy, Todd, playing backup guitar for you for your outstanding lead work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to want a nicer
You got to make
sound.
me shine.
I got a thunk. And, to me, people will probably ignore the pickguard anyhow. What I might consider doing is just taking the frickin' pickguard off completely.
That's not an option.
Okay.
One or the other, my friend.
Well, I'm going to go with the pickup. I would rather have a good sounding, a guitar that sounds as good as it possibly can.
There you go.
I'll qualify that. Although some of the first act stuff isn't too bad.
It's a $50, so we don't know what's going on with
it's a
this thing.
$50 guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there I just get one of them pickups, wire it straight to the output jack, and call it a day.
There you go.
So that's what I'm doing.
All right, Tony. Sorry.
Yes, Todd?
Yeah, hi. Let's ask Jared what he thinks.
I'm going to go ahead and join good old Tony Bolonsky on Tony's Island. Definitely going to go with the pickup change and wire it direct to the output. That's absolutely the best thing to do in this case. And as far as the pickguard goes, I got these big giant hands. I'll just cover up that graffiti, the awful, profane, nasty, ugly words that I don't want other people to see and associate me with because it's on the pickguard.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
definitely going with the pickup.
All right. Sounds good. Patrick, how about yourself?
Yeah, this is a tough one just because I wouldn't actually be too worried about either one of those necessarily. Part of me is just like, it could be interesting to just have just the nastiest sounding pickups.
So you've
ever.
seen Todd's band before.
Hey.
I don't even know what kind of music I'm walking into, and you don't know what kind of music I play. So, if you don't like what I do, that's your fault. At this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but I think since either one is gonna work out for me, I think I'm gonna go also with the pickups because I walked in with only $50 to buy this first act guitar, and if I put the new pickups in there, it's probably now a $200 guitar.
Exactly.
Yeah,
return on investment is much higher.
Yeah, you can get
pickups.
something that's decent for under $50 as far as a pickup goes.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Todd, since it's your band, who are you gonna?
I'm gonna switch out the pickguard, man.
Switch out the pickguard.
I gotta switch out the pickguard because
you're all about image.
It's gonna make a more lasting impression than my guitar work. No, I mean if it's just buzzing, I'm gonna be making a bunch of racket anyways.
Yeah.
So why not, right?
Yeah.
And it's one little like social slip up, like having some crazy racist thing or some horrible, terrible, no good, very bad words all over your stuff or whatever it is that you accidentally say, don't mean to say, intentionally say, whatever. I mean, that can tank whatever you're trying to do. So I'm not about that. And I don't support that kind of negativity anyway. So that's definitely not going to make it on the front of my guitar.
All right.
You're such a good person.
Peace and love.
All right. Well, that was a pretty fun one. Thank you, Mark, for sending that in. If you've got a fantastical would you rather that you would like us to read on air, we would love to do that. So make sure you send that to us. Tanya, what you got for us there?
Well, Todd, at this point of the show...
Yes, we're rounding third. Just so Patrick knows, he's like, oh my gosh, put a cork in this.
Honestly, you only have about another hour and a half to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Grab a snack while I talk.
Yeah.
At this point of the show, Todd, we like to thank a very special group of people. These are our executive producers.
That's right.
Now, you might be asking yourself, what's an executive producer? More importantly, how can I, John Q. Public, become an executive producer? Well, it's quite simple. An executive producer is someone who helps make this show possible. You go over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate, become a patron, a sponsor of this very podcast. Each level comes with a great bevy of thank you gifts, things like Barefoot Buttons, T-shirts, picks, stickers. Oh, my goodness. Keychains. Did I say keychains? Yes, I said
all
keychains.
All kinds of good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Thanks to all of the amazing builders out there that send it to us to give to you.
Yes.
Big thanks to all of you who do that.
Yes. But as an executive producer, you get all that great stuff. But there's one thing more. Jared, let the people know what that is.
They get to have their name read on the thing.
The name read on the thing. Their name. What was that?
He said, do it.
Wow, that was scary. That frightened me. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to read these names. So special thanks to these executive producers. Mr. Tom Brazen, Darren Gregory, Doug Christ, Ken Sayers, Brian Robison, Michael Senchuk, Stefan Lamb, Anthony Lathrop, John Anglin, Brad Partridge, John Esterle, Justin Jones, James White, Matt Hart, Bill Gola Guitars, Richard Kendall, Tig Harmon, John Jackson, Jason Roush, Gary Cooper, Mark Garton, Elad Mizrahi, Magadi, Trevor Gunberg, Rick Calhoun, Anthony Gemolero, John Halverson, and Drew Lopez.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Did I say thank you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Todd, don't interrupt me. Because there's more. We also have, in addition to those executive producers, a, how shall we say, upper echelon of executive producers we call our grand poobahs.
Yeah.
These folks really are the cornerstone of the podcast. They get a special fez to wear upon their head whilst listening to the podcast. It's a great, great thing. So special thanks to these grand poobahs. Jonathan Jerusik, Corey Nigro, David Kaminga, Science of Sound, Cody Foster, Sean S. Tommy Manasco, Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Tim Novak, Tyler Rhines, James Pennington, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, Johnny Morales, Mel Sanders, Bob Crouch, Sam Jett, Michio Murakishi, Martin Cliff, Hex Matos, Michael Van Zant, and although we said that he was new last time, let's say it again, Andrew DeHaan.
That is correct, Amundo. Hey, thank you all so very much for keeping our little show afloat. It does really mean the world to us. Thank you. All right. Patrick, where can people find your stuff and go buy this amazing pedal in early October?
You'll be able to find everything that's for sale at radiomule.com, and I will be posting lots of information about this pedal and about the other pedals that I sell on my Instagram at Radio Mule. There'll be some stuff on Facebook, possibly Twitter as well, both at Radio Mule, and find me on YouTube. Search
awesome.
For Radio Mule.
Yeah.
Tony, how about yourself?
Head over to pickguardian.com. Check out some of the things that I do. Some things you can buy right off the website, but by and large, what I do is custom work. So
like the pickguard on Vinny.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Vinny's pickguard.
Yeah.
Gold sparkle.
Ooh.
It's got to be gold and sparkly if it's for Todd. Mm-hmm. But shoot me an email. Let me know what you need, what you're thinking, what you're putting together, what you want to change out. Who knows? I might even have some good advice for you. But pickguardian.com, check it out.
All right. Jared, about yourself.
Well, if you want to ask me any pickup questions, please feel free to do so. Get a hold of me through the Guitar Knobs social medias.
Mm-hmm. And soon he'll have his own.
Maybe.
And you can shoot me an email, todd@theguitarknobs.com. We would love to hear your thoughts and questions and whatever else. Send us your would you rathers. We would definitely like to get those. And you can DM me or the rest of the fellas on Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Patrick, it has been a pleasure and an honor talking to you, and we're really stoked about not only the pedals you've already created, but this new high pedal. Really, really fantastic. So congratulations to you and continued success, my friend.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here and really happy to release High to everybody soon. So
awesome. And for the rest of you, have a fantastic guitar week and subscribe.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad Tony said it, not me, so he could be wrong.
I wasn't so stupid, as a matter of fact.
I'm on the older side of the younger side. Probably when I started going like, why am I waking up feeling hungover when I didn't drink?
Tony! Okay, let me backtrack and make myself look pretty here.
This is awful here.
Okay, bye. Patrick, let's
Is it me?
So we don't go, hey, Jared, what's up with that thing?
Tony, a baloney!
Tony.
Hi.
Tony, Todd, redo the...
My brain needs a damn reset. All right, Patrick, you see, you're seeing behind the curtain, my friend.
You're right.
Hey, Jared, what's up with that thing?
Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, see, now I got to take that out. Oh, boy.
Let me get a little bit of that.
Or this.
Got
You want to try it again,
one
Jared?
and a half jobs.
All right, damn it. Let's do it again.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, get all that goat cheese out of there.
Oh.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.